It's showtime.
OnlySlabs.
Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. Rob here in front of the great wall of comics. I'm thrown off. Sorry. As this was playing, I don't know how it was playing for you guys, but my computer was glitching, and I don't know what's up with that. But let's do this show anyways, glitches or not, and that means calling up to the Great White North and going, "Oh, Canada!"
Hi,
Hi,
America.
Chris. How you doing?
Good. And it was all good on my end, and
Excellent.
the test tracker that we share. Yes.
Good.
all
I
good.
was just watching. All of a sudden, it was like it was jerky, and I'm like, "What the?"
Yeah.
I just swapped out. I apologize, everybody. I swapped out computers yesterday because
That's a big life event now, isn't it?
oh god, I've had the last computer for so long that it's because I have to change out the hardware because when you have to switch to Windows 11 before what is it, October, when Microsoft turns off everything. So I've had this computer sitting here waiting to do this, but my video editor has been discontinued for like 7 years, apparently. So I'm having to learn new editors. I'm having to get all my assets moved over. It's a pain in the arse. So we're trying this out here live on the fly. Speaking of which, we have a guest, ladies and gentlemen, the Crimson Ghost Professor, Dr. J. Welcome to the show, sir. I'm happy to have you with us.
Rob, Chris, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Finally here. Finally at 198, I get my opportunity on the show.
That's right. Just before we hit the 200 mark, but it's great. It's going to be an awesome show. We're going to get back to you in just a second because we do have to get to the chat. Despite the fact that I might have a new computer, the rules of the internet have not changed. And that is that we are required by YouTube law to play Romper Room.
Romper bumper, stomper boo, tell me do. Magic mirror, tell me today, did all my friends have fun at play?
Well, you know what it seems to be is all the clips are what pauses on my end. It's really bizarre. I don't know if it's because I made a mistake of switching us to 1080p or not, but we'll see. Anyways, Jay knows away. He kicks us off big with that $25 super chat. Of course, all the super chats here, ladies and gentlemen, go to support comics curing cancer, and we're going to need your support more than ever because the U.S. Postal Service announced massive postal rates increases for packaging, and that's going to hit comics curing cancer hard. So we appreciate you guys with this. So it's yours truly's birthday. Happy birthday to Jay Knows the Way. His wife asked what he wanted, and he answered, enjoy the Arvo with Rob, Vet, and everyone here. A few slabs thrown in. Cheers all. Well, we appreciate you, sir, very much. And we're going straight to the big one right out of the gate. This one is for you.
That's not what it looks like.
The Adventurous Joe singing by say happy birthday to Jay Knows the Way. Vogue Skokna. Hey all, happy Slabber Day. Robert Monroe Jr., happy Slabber Day. Marty Olechko, working and lurking. Happy Slabber Day from Canada, everyone. And he drops that $2 super chat because cancer is bad and donations are good. And we thank you so much for that. And this one is for you, sir. And then he reminds you, don't forget to smash that like button, folks. Absolutely. Jean Malot, good afternoon, everyone. Marty Lechko says hello back. They say hello back. Christina Payne swings in. Mod extraordinaire to say hello to everyone. Mr. Comics 89. Hey, guys, I'll be in and out the whole show. I'm playing virtual attendance with my family at the Denver Fan Expo meeting. The Lex and Clark from Smallville, and Fred, George, and Lucius from Harry Potter. Nice. So I guess you're Oh, you're playing virtual attendance. So yes, he's Dr. J. He's in South Korea, stationed overseas. So he's waking up at
Okay.
god damn, it's fucking early. You know,
Thanks
and
for
he's
being
there
here.
tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Cliff on Comics drops a $2. Happy Slabber Day, everyone. Well, thank you so much, Cliff. This one is for you. Gene Malo has been supporting this channel for 26 months. Says, don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you so much for all that support. Everybody, that channel membership does go to support comics curing cancer. So 100% of it, I don't, except, well, let me first say, except for the little piece that YouTube skims off the top. All the rest of it that comes to me, that all just goes to Comics Curing Cancer. That's what helps to pay for all that free shipping, all those packing supplies, and everything else. So that way we don't have to add that on during the donation drive and stuff, and you guys can get a lot of cool stuff shipped free. So thank you guys all so much for that. Let's see. Christina Payne giving everybody the link for Dr. J, which is also, of course, down below in the description. And I should comment. I should even share the banner up here. If you're watching on the replay, you can go ahead and just look at the first line of the description down below. You'll see the time stamp you can skip to bypass this part of the show, unless you just want to watch us say hello to everybody, in which case, thank you. Let's see. We are now here. Wayne Deacon, I can't wait to see a batch. A Butch and Sundance kids. It's Slabber Day. Thank you very much. Yeah. Let's see. I think my youngest is Butch.
Is that an inside joke?
I am the youngest. No. What?
You are young. You are younger than I am. That's true. We've talked about
Butch was
that.
older.
Not by a lot.
I thought Paul Newman was older than Robert Redford. Okay.
Where am I here? Let's see. Sal's Comics Corner. Hey, everyone. I'm ready to see some awesome slabs. We thank you for coming by. Phil Aileen. Hello, everyone. Austin LeMay. Hey, gang. See, Mad Spidey dropping that $7.99 Australian dollar super chat. Let's go. Or looking for group, depending on where you're at.
Bet she gives great helmet.
Kiss me.
No, no, no. You need it on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time.
I don't know. How long was I shaking my head?
Okay.
This is weird. I apologize. Happy Slabber Day, all. It just froze up on me on my end. Howdy, all. Woot, woot. Stephen C, channel member for 30 months. Happy Slabber Day. And gosh, are we getting close to getting some 3-year members on this channel now? Wow.
Incredible.
That's crazy. I didn't think it's hard to believe that I've been monetized for that long, but I never thought I'd even get there to begin with. So there you go. And yet here I am. We're on the march to 4,000 subscribers now. We're like we crossed 3,800 last night. That was pretty crazy to me. Dr. Von Hoot, Comics from the Spiral Dimension drops £5. Slabs, you say? Why, yes, I do believe I'd like to see them. Cancer is still the worst.
That beautiful bean footage.
Another one, Real James Wheelie, 30 months of membership. Happy Slabber Day, Slabber Day goodness. Dagger Cards, happy Canada Day and 4th of July to the U.S. and everyone in both countries. Absolutely. Digger Jim, hello, everyone. Matt, Heroes for Hire Comic Club, happy Slabber Day. Let's see, who else? Nucking Futz 1, a great guy. Now, I don't know if you know this, Dr. J, but Nucking Futz 2, Dude's a fucking jerk. Anyways, happy hello Slabberoonies, Rob, Canadians, and guests. I like that. Let's see here. Jedi Batman. Hello all. 3 good nerds. I hope she sees me today. Who is she? Je ne sais quoi. Kingdom of Nerds. Hello all. Thank you very much. Psychedelic Comics. Greetings, fellow comic book geeks. Joffrey Castro. Hello all. Hello, gentlemen, rather. Howdy, Jim. She missed me again. Would you believe? Missed me by that much. Hello all. Don't forget the 2025 Comic Community Awards nominees are open until August 2nd. Let's see here. Papa Wheelie, member for 20 months. Thank you so much. Chris Bell. Hi, DDO. Slabberinos. Let's see. Ryan Riley. What's up, cool people? Let's see. Oh, okay. Ruined apple pie for me. Okay. Oh my, that far behind on the chat I am. I'm 6 minutes behind in the chat. I see that now. Jeez. Xenozone. Greetings to the hosts and hosts. Bat Dan presents. Happy Slabber Day, everyone. Brian LCS. Happy Slabber Day, all. Happy Saturday, I should say. JT Comic Books. Glad to see Dr. J on, as are we. Let's see here.
Brother JT.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to get to Austin's comment. Austin says, check out the auction on the C3 site. I actually pinned up is the link to the C3 site, and I was going to get to it a little bit later. But as long as you brought it up, there is an auction going on right now with a couple of books. It's our first beta test of the auction. You can just go to the items tab, and you can see the 2 items, 2 comic books that were done in a sketch cover battle on stream a while back. One by Madam Blaster and Eddie the Comic Guy, Poison Ivy. They're up running for the next 2 weeks. You can go and bid on them and help us test out that feature of the website as we're looking to potentially utilize that during our alongside our normal YouTube auction. And we'll talk more about that later. Let's see here. Papa Wheelie drops $5 super chat. I was upset I missed OnlySlabs. Then I realized it was only Friday yesterday. That is very valid. Yes. And thank you so much for that, Papa. This one's for you.
You know, I'm very conflicted about how I'm supposed to feel watching this.
The Crimson Terror 85. Hello to all. The barber did not get me. The barber hasn't gotten me in years. Let's see. Want to say, make sure. Oh, Taylor Winder. Well, Rob was born 50. I have comic issues. Hello, everyone. Comic Web, Brian. Hola. Happy Slabber Day. Just saw Brian Comic Web last Sunday, right at the Berkeley Comic Show. Had a great time. Picked up some amazing books that will be back out not this Monday, but the following Monday. That haul. Chris is going to be upset with. He's got no chance again at the top 10 at the end of the year. Not that it's a competition, he says, but we'll see. We'll see. Space Case Collectibles. Hola. Let's see here. Comic book countdown. Hail to the Sultans of Slabber Day. I appreciate that.
That was pretty good.
See here.
That was a good one, Rob.
Yeah, Comic Web. He's 16 months. Only 16 months. I'm a loser. Nope, because 16 months is more than other people have. So there you go.
It's not a competition.
Yeah, it's not a competition. That
was a competition.
Yeah, but it is, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Isn't it half of comics collecting is competing with your friends?
You need some new friends.
Aquaman just jumped in the pit.
Yeah. So the big Sabbath show that's happening right now, Jason Momoa is there and jumped in the pit. Like 20
Love you, Chris, but you'll never win this showdown with Rob.
Yeah. Hey,
all right. Well, anyways,
We'll see.
Anyways, there we go. We've gotten to the end. We can turn that off. We'll bring this on. It says to follow our guest today. We can go up here. Now we can turn off the TV 14 and go back to our regular thing. We'll make ourselves big, but then we'll make, and we're going to stay over here now. We've learned because of something. I can't remember that comes up on the screen. But anyways, with that, what was it, Chris?
Let's say if you select it on, it's not on right now. So,
if I turn this on, boom. All right, there we are. But you said we don't need to because the chat comes up. I don't know. Anyways, forget it.
All right.
Hello,
Dr. J.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Before we show your first book, we'd love to learn your comic book origin story. That time, oh God, I'm running out of these things in my head, off the top of my head, that you were working in a lab and there was an explosion and suddenly chemicals doused your skin and you had new powers you had couldn't ever imagine.
Yeah, and I've thought about that if I'd be a villain or a superhero, and I would probably be somewhere in between both a villain and a superhero, depending on the day, So I've fantasized about that idea, though, as a comic book fan. I grew up in the 80s, cartoons, so getting the early exposure to Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and seeing some of our comic book characters actually in animated form, like Spidey and his friends, Amazing Friends, and then seeing like Justice League and the Legion of Doom and all of those. And I really took to all of those cartoons, but never really started collecting until after high school. And it wasn't until like Spawn came out, and that was really what gravitated me to the industry and collecting. And that was really all I collected at first was just Spawn. And then
you made Austin really happy.
Some comic books came my way from some people throughout my life. I moved to Florida and ended up having the opportunity to do some witnessing with CGC. And I did the red shirt for a couple of years. Here's the old school, if you notice these. So that was my first crack actually into slabs and signature series. And all of the books that I pulled today are all signature series. I kept all my blue labels out. So every one of them signature series. Some double repeats from a couple of known creators, but you got the writers, the artists, and I've recently been delving into celebs because you run out of creators, right? What do you do when you've met them all and nobody new is coming out onto the scene? And so I got to shift my collecting.
It's a tough break, but
it's a hard knock life you live, man.
Well, I tell you, it gets a lot more expensive at that point too.
Yes.
Those celebrities, they want far more than comic creators do.
Right.
Yes, I have a handful, and they are definitely they get up there.
Yeah,
I think most recently I picked up Hayden Christensen, and it was. Whew.
Yeah, you could say that twice, and I got some Star Wars in here, so we'll be doing some of those size again with some of those costs in there. So
awesome. Well, that's great. I think that and you don't just meet these artists and get signatures on just your books, do you?
No,
you get signatures in some other places, don't you?
Yeah. So the most influential guys, the ones that have inspired me the most. I have Stan Lee, From His Hand Onto My Skin, Greg Capullo, and I'll talk about Capullo again with the Spawn connection. Most recently, Tom McFarlane was the other one. Jim Lee and Kevin Eastman did a sign-in sketch. So he's on there, and then Jerry Conway, who's a writer, not an artist, but he drew the Punisher symbol on me. And he said it was the second one that he's done in his lifetime. The first one was on his daughter. And so I was hoping to get an invite for Thanksgiving dinner after that. No such luck.
So yeah, so you get a few of these signatures on you, then you get them tattooed on permanently, and
Yeah.
Check out his Instagram. He's got some of them posted up there. Really, including most recently with McFarlane. Really awesome.
Yeah, it made sense to me, right? To go from comic book to I'm a tattoo enthusiast, so it made sense to me. Why am I not getting some of these signatures tattooed on me? And some people.
And it was interesting. I almost had the very reversed same conversation at Heroes Con with a tattoo artist who was doing his first foray into comic book covers, picking up a piece from him that he had done, and you could definitely see the tattoo influence in his art, much like when you see a graffiti artist do something, you see that graffiti aspect. But let's go ahead and show off your first book before the people grab their pitchforks and riot.
All right, so this week we've lost Jim Shooter, and I had to start off the show, I guess, talking about Jim Shooter and the impact that he had. I was fortunate enough to meet him several times and to actually sit in, have breakfast with him, and the stories that he talked about, the stories that are things you shouldn't be repeating. They are some of the best things I've ever heard. And, I've been working in comics since 2016. It's some of the best stories I've ever heard. So I wanted to start with Jim Shooter. And of course, a book that most people are familiar with, Secret Wars #8, triple signed. Triple signed here. You got Shooter, Zach, and Beatty all on this, coming in at a 9.2. I was there for Zach and for Shooter, but not for Beatty. That one, I had to send it away with the rest of the team. I had to be someplace else. But one of my favorites, because Spider-Man, as you can see, is one of my favorites in my collection. So
yeah, well, it's one hell of a Spider-Man behind you.
Yeah, so if you remember Blockbuster Video, that's where I won that from, actually.
Oh, wow.
So, it was, they, here's the piece that came with it. They had around 2,500 of these, and I got lucky. What can I say? 2001 was a good year for me for Spider-Man. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's my first book there.
Excellent. Of course, the origin of the black story, how Spidey gets his black costume, which he'd been running around in for like 8 months at that point. Everyone's just, what
happened?
Where'd this come from?
And Jim Shooter's actually the writer on the story. I know most people see him as the editor-in-chief, and they're like, oh, Jim didn't really do all that much. Like, he wrote those Secret War stories, and those are considered some of the best storylines. 80s comic books, the storylines are just incredible.
Yeah.
For my second book.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay, so during COVID, we had Shooter in the booth with us. We were at, it was either the smaller Heroes Con or it was the big Heroes Con. I can't remember which one it was. And so we were talking, sitting around, listening to Jim talk in the morning. And he had mentioned that, do we, as comic book witnesses, ever sign comic books for people? I was like, well, nobody wants a signature from us. And he kind of encouraged us to say, you should all sign this book with me. We should submit it and get your names all on the label. So all of the witnesses that were at that show, and this was when was this dated? It was 2021, 11/2021. So it would have been the smaller Heroes.
Yeah, in the COVID times.
Yes, in the COVID times. And CGC they weren't going around, they weren't at these conventions, so third-party facilitators could show up and submit on their behalf. So this book had a lot of personal sentimental value to me, being that he just passed away, and it's got my name in the label, which I thought was just super cool, and a lot of my friends in there. So it's just something that we never thought of doing until Jim kind of brought it up to us and was like, why don't you guys sign books too and get them submitted? So this book has, there's 5 of us, including Jim, on it. So just a really cool concept that Jim came up with. And shout out to him again. Rest in peace, Jim.
Yeah,
It's,
this is a book that was a benefit for hunger, and this is actually one of the books that I had grabbed a while back just because it has so many creators in it that it's one of those fun books that you can pick up readily. They're not expensive, but you just want to go and you're not worried about necessarily getting it graded. If you just want to go around and collect signatures and talk to different artists, it's one of those books that you can bring. You can take that. You can take like a Marvel 1000, one of the DC whatever 1020, what a couple of these books that have 50, 60 creators in them, and go around and see how many signatures you can get on them without having to lug around a ton of different books and have those opportunities to talk to these guys about stuff. It's great fun.
Yeah, it's got Claremont, Starlin, Shooter, Romito Jr., John Byrne, Wrightson, Corbin, Miller, Nolan. I mean, just
the who's who at the time.
Yeah, just an all-star. And the back of it even has a little bit of art on there too, which is great as well. Great to see those wraparound covers and seeing more art throughout. In the front. So.
Getting ready for your 40th class reunion. Holy cow, Larry! Good.
Oh.
Hello to Cat Fan Comics Man. We will make sure we acknowledge you. Thank you so much.
I'm a big Green Lantern fan. I actually have a Green Lantern tattoo behind one of my ears.
It's a big Green Lantern book.
Yeah. So this the first solo series of Green Lantern here with Hal Jordan. And so signed by Joe Giella. And this was one of those where I was someplace different, but I know the rest of the team was out and they were going to be at a convention that had him there. And they were able to get him signing on it. And what's cool is that he did it in like a ballpoint pen instead of doing it with a Sharpie. So kind of keeping that old school mentality that they don't use the Sharpies, they use pens, right? And they last longer, they don't smear, and you don't have to worry about that sort of stuff that you worry with like the paint pens and the time to dry before you put it back in the bag and all that.
I do always love watching the guys with the paint pens, and then like I think John Boy is fun because he has like a little handhold fan. So he's like, as he's signing, he's like, he's got like he's getting himself a rack built that
just for fanning, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so this one was a big one for me. I think at the time when I picked it up, it was only like $400, and so this was probably like in the early 2000s. So I jumped at it then and wanted to have a piece of Green Lantern history in my private collection. So one of my favorites.
Dr. J, what's the actual release for this book then? It
is 1960. So it's showing between July and August. So it actually says 7-8 on there.
Yeah.
So one of the oldest books that I have in my collection. I have some from the 40s as well, but as far as like slab books, this is one of the oldest that I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice.
So funny story about this next book. This book was actually given to me for free.
You got you got any more of those friends, man? Like
yeah, this book was gifted to me. I was floored. I was shocked. I didn't accept it at first. I couldn't accept it at first.
How can you even? I rejected a Stan Lee signed Ravage 2099 #1. How do you accept a Stan Lee signed AF-15?
Yeah, at the time it was raw, and I told the person that was giving it to me what it was, the value that it had, and the perspective was, you're a huge Spider-Man fan. You're going to make do with this. And this is part of the reason why I've devoted my entire office in here to AF-15 covers. This whole entire office in here is Amazing Fantasy 15 homages. So you're looking at...
As I look at a Deck 27 homage in background.
Yeah, well, right, but it's still that one is still he's got the arms slung back like Spider-Man does. It's got the carrying under there, so it's not the Detective Comics Batman. it's definitely a mashup of Detective Comics and AF-15. But this one, funny story too. This was the first book that I had Stan sign. This was the first time I ever met him. So this was the first book in my signature series collection, and it's really scary to part with a book, right? So you just get it signed. You're gushing, you're excited, you've met the person you want to meet, and then you got to turn it over to somebody that you don't know, and you got to pay them a load of money.
Right. It's one thing to do it with a book that's $100 book or something, but when you're talking about a book that you can buy a used car with, it's a different ball of wax.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. So when I got this book back, I live in Florida. I'm about 45 minutes away. Yeah, it is a perfect place for that signature for sure. When I got this book back, they had just released the Stan Lee labels. And so I reached out to some of my contacts and was like, look, I just got this book back. I need that label. Can I drive it down? Can we just switch out the label? And they did. And so, it's not noted anywhere, but I am the first person to have the Stan Lee label on my comic book.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, and this is the reason why too, I'll never crack this thing. I love those labels. I know some people are like, well, it's just a $5 little piece, but they've retired this label as well. This is not coming back. You can't get this anymore. So to me, I don't ever want to switch out this book.
That's fair. And to be honest, when it comes down to it, it's Stan Lee. It's a little different, And $5 for a label when you're doing a high value book is a little different than when you're doing $5 on a modern book.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth?
This is $5 at this point. It's insignificant.
Yeah, it really is. Absolutely.
I'm surprised they haven't figured a way to charge you more just because it's a high value book. Well, the custom label then is an extra 3%.
Right? Isn't that true? Well, hey, it's probably coming down the pipe soon, right? So
there was a question from Silver Eagle who wanted to ask you, as a facilitator, is there any type or brand of pen or markers that you would recommend for autographs?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think a lot of it depends on what sort of book you're getting done too. If it's an older book, if it's a modern book, they got the glossy covers now, the lenticular covers, the metal covers. All of these kind of go into shaping what you're going to use for your markers here. I think Sharpies are a fail-safe. They're good to go with most covers.
They dry pretty fast.
They dry really fast too. But
unless it's a plastic cover or a hollow cover.
Right.
Sure, if it's paper, quick dry.
Yeah.
If it's not, don't slip it in that bag right away.
Absolutely not. Yeah. So it really is though on personal preference, what you like the most. I know there's a lot of people that like chrome markers as well. They look really sharp on books, and they seem to match all different kinds of colors, even white and black backgrounds. So,
yeah, I always like to look for either colors that would complement what's going on, or I do like paint markers, but yeah, they are a pain. And yeah, we're just gonna go right now.
Slow down!
So I remember getting this book signed by Stan. I remember standing in front of him, and the lines were always so long for Stan, and he took a couple minutes to admire the book, and I didn't say anything. He looked at it, and he stared at it, and he had a guy to the left of him, a guy to the right of him saying, "Sign here, Stan, sign here, Stan, sign there, Stan," and it was almost like he tuned everybody out for a moment and just kind of zoned in on the book. And I'm telling you, it felt like 2 minutes without any sort of movement, any sound, just pure appreciation for it. And he put this massive signature on there. And to give some comparison, if you look side by side here, you can see how much bigger this signature is. I mean, it is almost 2 to 3 times the size. And I was floored that he did it that big. This was maybe my third time meeting him when he did this. And I couldn't believe it because I knew right away. The size of the signature was just so impressive. And, I couldn't wait to get it slabbed.
Think how many flaws he covered up with that much marker.
and that's funny. In all my time in submitting, I've never come back with a purple label. I've never come back with any restoration, any color touch, or any trims or anything like that. No missing pages as well. I've gotten really lucky when
You actually look at your books then.
I do, but I tell you, I've done a couple of buy off the shelf sort of things from vendors, and just kind of, some of them were already graded, and you kind of give the benefit of the doubt to some people and hope that everything's there and that nobody's messed with the book. So
I've done that on a few old Golden Age books that unfortunately, though, then I didn't bother to count pages, or I got busy and thought I had but forgot to, and then submitted them, and then they come back missing pages or something, and I irritated. But most recently, my first Black Widow, when I had sent it in and it came back with color touch, and I still to this day cannot find the color touch, hitting it with black light and everything. I can't find it at all. But
is that interesting?
But I've had to go buy another copy now because fucking purple label of death. Thank you. Yeah. Could have been worse. Could have been the green label of death, but hey.
Absolutely. But I don't want either purple or green. I don't want either.
I don't mind purple in certain like if I had some some of my Golden Age stuff, if that's what I had to get it, I really don't have a problem with it, depending upon if it's, especially if it's just like light color touch.
That's fair.
But and I'll be honest, I'd be fine with a purple label on an AF-15. Just saying. But when it comes to, because that's an era where that type of thing went down, depending upon with it, it's not uncommon. But other times.
You bring up a good point, and I guess if I was getting a free AF-15 that had some restoration on it, I'd be okay with it too.
Exactly. You didn't have to deal with that. You didn't have to deal with that poor, fortunate issue, but
right.
Ooh.
So this is where we hit the celebrities. William Shatner.
Oh my!
There,
fitting, very fitting.
That was perfect. That was Sulu. That's great. Love it. I am only the original series Star Trek fan. I'm not a fan of Next Generation or Deep Space. I just can't get into them because they don't have the hokiness. They don't have the bravado that William Shatner did.
Have you watched Strange New Worlds?
I've given it a try.
Got some hokiness in there.
Yeah.
Entire musical episodes and
they're not afraid to jump the shark a few times in one episode. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe on your recommendation, I will try.
But I get it. But what is good though is Star Trek Continues was a YouTube series that they had sunk a lot of money building exact replicas of the original sets, and had gotten it was a cast of actual actors, not just YouTube fanatics or something, put together full-blown episodes that were with consulting with people who worked on the original show to have the same type of writing and cadence and acting delivery and feel of the show. It's amazing. They even got Lou Ferrigno to play an Orion slave master, so he got all painted green.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And actually, shout out to Lou Ferrigno. That's some foreshadowing. We got a signed book from
nice.
Lou. So William Shatner, I remember waiting in line for this one. Everybody seemed to be a little uneasy because there was these rumors that if William Shatner saw people doing videos or taking picture before the opportunity, that he might just walk off. That he had that sort of attitude that I don't care about the money here. If you're going to be doing that when I'm not ready, I'm walking. And I know a lot of people in line were very cautious not to have their phones out during that time. This is another one where I don't usually do personalizations, but I wanted William Shatner to know my name, and I wanted my name up in the label. So this predates the Heroes book that I had Shooter sign. So my name is actually in this label as well, from William Shatner, which I thought was really cool. The other big thing is that it's on the back. So when you're talking about,
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, this is where his main picture was, not on the front of this first issue. So there it is. It was one of the coolest moments of my, my time meeting celebrities. And
signed T.J. Hooker.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't that have been something?
Jay Knows the Way dropping 5 Fat Stacks Comics gift memberships. Nerdy Geek, Meatwad #1, Ed's Crazies, 3 Good Nerds, and House of L Comics, all benefiting from those free memberships. Thank you so much. This one's for you, Jay Knows the Way.
Time I ever asked for anything I really wanted.
Well, is it done? All right. Geez, it's just completely. I will have to figure some stuff out going, because if this is an issue for sure. I can't be dropping clips and having them freeze on me and me not knowing what's going on. All right, back to you, sir. And yes, I see we have some Steranko queued up.
Steranko, and again, the most Hollywood of all your comic book.
If there's a comic book pimp, Steranko is the man.
Yeah, absolutely, and can talk forever. He's got the lore. He's got a perfect smile, perfect hair.
He has him at a turtleneck shirt.
Yeah,
like
always dressed to the nines, right? Like he's ready. He's like, I feel it's very much like I'm in the presence of like Frank Sinatra when I'm around him. It's one of the coolest guys around from the old school. And he signed my Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. issue 4. This is the origins of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this book. And one of the coolest things about Steranko too is watching him actually do his signature. He does, like, before he does pen to paper, kind of like this rotation on getting the S in there. And I never really understood it. I don't know if it's just like
he's got to loosen up. Don't want to pull a bicep.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. But again, it's just like those subtle nuances that, like, even as a fan and as a witness, and I'm trying to watch and see what's going on, because as a witness, I do try to watch the signatures actually happen. It's just really
witness them.
Yeah,
that's crazy talk.
I know. Well, and I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing those little subtle nuances that people do when they give their signature. So, again, one of the coolest guys. I'm glad that I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple times, and I actually got a picture with him where it's kind of like his side profile, and I'm in front of him because he is very elusive. He doesn't like pictures taken with just dudes. He wants something prettier than a bunch of bald guys in the photo with, right?
Yep. Very true.
So, pleasure to meet Mr. Steranko.
He says, only tasteful nudes. Wait, I mean.
Oh, Rob.
There we go. Hold on. Let's get something here. Yeah, let's do this one.
Great Scott.
This is from the legendary Neil Adams, another great artist that has passed us by. And I actually had an opportunity to get this signed here at a local comic shop. And when he was doing it, he was signing them for free. And so, and this was within the last 3 years of his lifespan. And so, got really lucky for that opportunity to meet him. have a couple minutes to talk with him and shake his hand. And, again, just another guy that extremely professional. You see him show up. He's always got the tie on and the short sleeve button ups, and very professional and very, another thing that I like about a guy like Neil Adams is he sits at his table all day long. He's not there from 1 to 3 and then 6 to 7, right? He's one of those guys. He'll stay there all day long, rather he's got people coming up or not, and takes those opportunities, as many opportunities to meet the fans and make some money.
I've had a few interactions with him during my life. He told some of the best dirty jokes you would ever have a chance to hear. And I mean full out gross, like just gross dirty jokes. If he felt that he could tell you a joke, you were going to hear it. And they were never just a one-liner. It was a long build-up with a very strong, non-PC type of punchline. But Dr. J, I'm going to ask you, my man, would you mind reading us what's on the right side of that yellow label? This is an important book. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So Roy Thomas did the story, and I got a Roy Thomas book in here as well, who was the next chief editor after Stan Lee stepped down. Roy Thomas took over. Neil Adams does the cover. Ross Andrew, Bill Everett, Don Heck, and Frank Gaiocchi are in the art here. But more so, this is the origin and first appearance of the Defenders. It's the death of Yonderith. Baron Mondu appears in the backstory in a Doctor Strange short appearance there. So there is your book. That's that origin of those Defenders. Hulk, Submariner, and you got Doctor Strange in there as well.
Phenomenal book.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's a gorgeous cover too. I mean, it's
yeah, it is very colorful, action-packed, right? You got everybody doing something.
Here we come.
Yeah, you can see the movement, right? You can feel that the foot of the Hulk coming at you. Front and center there. Just great stuff.
JSS Brooklyn's question and observation. What a wonderful display office. What frames do you use? If it's anything special. And we talked about the Brooklyn, I'll say the Spider-Man statue we talked about real quick. He got that from a Blockbuster video contest.
The frames are from Michaels. I always like the look of a matted frame. So it was important for me to try to have the consistency in buying the frames. And so for what it's worth, these are all Xerox copies of these covers too, not to self-incriminate, but I didn't want to put the actual comic books in there. So, to hold them in place with the matting and whatnot, I had to put a piece of tape to mat them down to make sure that they didn't shift or move at any time. So, Michaels is where I found them.
Yep, cool.
Yep.
All right, let's do one more. Do we got to pause for our break?
Okay, sounds good. So this was from the aforementioned Roy Thomas. This is the first appearance of Red Norval as Thor. So maybe not a well-known story that most people don't know about, but Red Norval is a normal human being, and he is bestowed the strength of Thor from Loki in an attempt to try to woo Lady Sif there. So I wanted something different from Roy Thomas. I didn't want like a massive book. I wanted something that he thought was kind of an underappreciated, underrated book. And Roy Thomas is a really cool guy too. He was a teacher for many years. So I connected to him instantly with that because a lot of my background is in education. So I was a public school teacher for 15 years. So so there was a lot of good discourse that goes beyond just comic books. But
so you really do hate money. You went from being a school teacher to cooking comics.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Exactly. So just a cool book. I wanted Roy to have. I wanted Roy to sign something in my collection that he thought was worthy of being in there, and this was the go-to. This was the recommendation.
Nice.
So
I do always love when you give them something that's unexpected. Sometimes you get especially if they're into it, you get some way more interesting conversations. I know that, that's my case, because I always take my 2099 books whenever I can, which you always get great conversations, because they're not, some of them, I mean, obviously the Spider-Man one they get all the time, but when you go to like Ron Lim, it doesn't come up as often, or Broderick, or some of these guys, but you always get really good conversations, because it's oftentimes something these days, it's something that they did early on in their careers, but it was also something that didn't have at that time a bunch of rigid rules. They got to create the stuff, so they had a lot of freedom and stuff, which was interesting.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we're going to break right here for our first giveaway. Let's drop that up. Free AF-15. That's going to be our hashtag here. Go ahead and drop that. What we're going to be doing here is I've got a short box full of comics loaded up with keys from the Silver Age forward, and we're going to be pulling 6 books out for a lucky winner here. All you have to do is enter that hashtag, be the person who gets selected randomly here, and we will ship these out globally. So no matter where you're at in the world, feel free to participate. I hate money too. That's why I ship globally on my giveaways. So well, that's going on there. Real quick, yes, Chris.
Rob, for the chat that's putting in this, I'm seeing numerous people without putting the question mark. Make sure you.
Oh, it's required. Yeah.
Mark. Everyone, please make sure you put the question mark at the end of hashtag free AF-15. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly as you see it on the screen. Chris, I'll come back to you in a second, but let's first, Dr. J, anything coming up that you'd like to talk about for yourself?
Well, I live in Florida. Next Saturday, we're going to be in Daytona for Mark Spears, who is just the hottest guy in comics right now, right? And every cover that Mark Spears does just seems to go bananas.
Blows up.
Yeah, so we're going to have the opportunity to be out facilitating for an in-store signing for Mark Spears then. And then August 1st and 2nd, we'll be in just outside of Dallas at Frisco Con for Jim Lee. Jim Lee will be there, so we'll be facilitating.
Do you want to mention who we are?
Oh, sure. So that's the company that I work with. That's Alpha Omega Collectibles. They're based out of Lakeland, Florida, and a bunch of good guys. And I don't just say that because I know them personally, but we hang out all the time, friends before business, and also huge collectors. And that's what makes it fun, because they're as excited to see great books and to meet,
I've used them a few times in the past.
Yeah. So shout out to Alpha Omega Collectibles.
Excellent. All right, Chris, what's coming up on the Comic Vet YouTube channel?
Everyone keep an eye out for Wednesday, new comic book day, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Show Us What You Got, the live new comic book day hangout. It's an open invitation for everyone and anyone to come on and show their books and talk about what's going to be going on with their YouTube channel after they show their fine wares that they picked up from new comic book day. Thank you, Rob.
Sure. We're going to be pulling this in just a second. I see about 10 people more watching than have entered. If you want to get your answer in, hit that hashtag free AF-15 question mark. We're not giving away an AF-15. It's just a question. JSS Brooklyn drops another $1.99 super chat. See, happy 4th of July, everybody. Let's get you a clip here. This one is for you, sir. Boom. And then I'm going to real quick, we'll throw up, want to thank all the henchmen. You guys get the old school tag here, a list of all the henchmen members at that $2.99 check. You get the old school one instead of the video scroll today, because I didn't think to edit that yesterday before I swapped out computers, and I haven't yet learned the new video editing software I have to do on this computer. So thank you guys, all the henchmen, for supporting the channel. We appreciate you guys. We'll of course thank the Goon Squad a little bit later on. Let's go ahead and spin it, see who wins it. Ladies and gentlemen, ready? Here we go. Wheel
of
of Fish. Shout out to the great Weird Al Yankovic. Dr. Huge Show. Congratulations. Look at
huge,
that. Huge.
huge.
Got that big old weenie there. I love it. All right. Let's get you some books here.
Watch your back, Rob.
All right, Dr. J, you're going to be pulling books for us. What we're going to do here is you're going to pick either a number 1 through 10 from the front, 1 through 10 from the back, or we'll just do some back to front action. You tell me where to stop.
Let's do from the front. 3.
Number 3. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we get 5 more.
Number 6.
From the front or the back?
From the front. It's all going to be from the front.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Number 9. From the front.
That's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay.
Number 13.
Nope, we do 1 through 10. That's it. Otherwise, you do back to front.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's go back then. Let's go from the back. Number 3 from the back.
Oh, number 3 from the back. Okay. Okay, it's 4. We got 2 more books.
Number 6 from the back.
Okay.
Number 9 from the back.
All right.
Your back.
Let's see if that strategy worked out any better than normal. I don't know. It all depends on what you like. Let's see here. If I put these in order of coolness in my mind. All right. We have ourselves Batman issue, 451. Joker doing a little spray and pray.
Gangster style.
We've got G.I. Joe issue 54.
Oh.
We've got ourselves some Michael Turner goodness.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. Dark Side. Awesome.
Great cover.
Book that I vivid in my memory. Batman 457, The Breaking of Batman.
Huge. He was huge.
Huge. We've got ourselves Transformers issue number 6, first appearance of Josie Beller, who becomes Circuit Breaker.
Love that cover.
Yeah, it's awesome. A lot of action happening there.
Yeah.
Shockwave showing him who's boss.
Decepticon on Decepticon action. And the final book here, pull for you. How about Crisis on Infinite Earths issue number 7, Death of Supergirl.
Yeah, I don't know about giving away this book, but okay.
There you go. Congratulations, Dr. Huge Show. Make sure you reach out to me over on Instagram at robs.fatsacks. And send me your ship to information so I can get these out in the mail to you as quickly as possible. I'm hoping they'll go out today, but unfortunately, the U.S. Postal Service has been a little wishy-washy where I live lately, and now seems to only come around 2 to 3 times a week. So who knows? All right, let's get back to you there, Dr. J. Kick off the second half for us. We see some big green machines sitting here.
Yeah, again, during COVID time, Lou Ferrigno visited a shop in Orlando. So I made the drive out there, and I had heard a bunch of things about Lou, people saying that, had good experiences with him, bad experiences with him. And my experience with him was great. He was super cool. And, this was one of those books that a lot of people had waiting in line, because it looks just like him, right? Just from the TV show. And I remember watching the TV show as a kid, and the song always felt so bad, and I always felt so bad for Bruce.
It wasn't a happy song.
No, it wasn't a happy
Because
song.
it's not a happy show, really. I mean,
no. He always ended up walking down the street by himself, and the music was playing, and I was like, it was never like a heroic day for him. It was always like this epic, like, oh well, like going and kicking the can down the street again.
Everyone got him mad, and we all know what happens when you make him mad, right? So
yeah, absolutely. But another part of my childhood that I couldn't pass up here. I needed to take that opportunity to meet the man that was the Hulk on TV show before the MCU kicked in, before the Fox universe kicked in, before Saturday morning cartoons. This was a big one. So it's good to see that. It was nice to you too. So.
Nice. Knucking Futz, I will tell you to tune in tomorrow or Monday. This Monday's YouTube video will be the second half of my Heroes Con haul. It'll be the Grail and the big books and the keys and everything else I picked up, including a short floor tour, as opposed to part 1 from last week, which was just the 15 sketch covers I picked up. Just 15. I don't have a clip for this one, but let's just say roll out.
That's good enough, right? So this was signed by Peter Cullen and Frank Weller, the voices of Optimus Prime, and covered by Bill Sienkiewicz. This is the first appearance of the Autobots in comic book form from Marvel Comics here. Again,
transform and slab out.
It's pretty good, Louis. That's
a good one.
That's pretty good.
Again, this is building on those Saturday morning cartoons and just a strong part of my childhood and collecting the figures. And not too long ago, I had the opportunity to buy a Generation 1 Optimus Prime, which was the mail away, which is a bit harder to get, and had Peter Cullen sign that one as well. So
nice.
It's definitely one of those pieces that I love in my collection, as well as the slab itself. And they signed it with the white paint pen. So just kind of talking about
great.
Using different colors and matching it with the backgrounds. And it definitely, I thought
it stands out without standing out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like both of them are going at kind of the same angle.
Parallel, yeah, exactly.
They really matched it well, going around the legs there with Optimus. So, there's a little bit of an art and science to it, because I am very much, I put a book in front of you. I don't really care where you sign it. I'm
I'm the opposite. I'm blocking out I'm window bagging. I'm that guy who comes to con with his own books that are window bagged just to make sure that you can't sign where I don't want you to sign.
I tell you,
I'm getting asked. I got asked, I remember several times, like, are you a facilitator? No, these are just for me. I'm just trying to make it easy for you.
Yeah, I it's something I don't care about, right? Like I am good with placement, and I like being able to share in that, like, well, where do you think you should sign it, sort of an approach, right? So, because I think some people are a little bit more specific about that than I am. So my books,
that's true.
I could care less. I want you just to sign the book. So
now you said that the is Saturday morning. Now for me, I don't know. I don't know if Transformers was Saturday morning for you. For me, it was a weekday after school show. But
every
region is different, so I don't.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think I just kind of quickly defer to.
They're all Saturday morning cartoons. Got it.
Yeah, maybe 80s cartoons.
There you go. That works for me. All right, Rob out nerding the nerd. Right. Yeah, they did. No, absolutely did. And that's why. And then there was a whole. That's why you had Transformers and GI Joe and He-Man as cartoons and stuff. That they said, "Hey, how can we make the best commercial ever? We'll make a show about it. Then the kids will want the action figures." They all learned from Lucas.
Absolutely. Yep. Star Wars. 100%. This is Critters #1. This is signed by Stan Sakai, who's the creator of Usagi Jimbo, which is a fan favorite within the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle community. So this is the first appearance of a bunch of the Critters together as a team here. So not the grade I was hoping for on this, but again, it didn't really matter to me. I just wanted a book signed by Stan, and I was excited to have it no matter what the grade was going to come back with. So, yeah. So, good book there. So I'm originally from the Detroit area. So The Crow always stood out as a fan.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
So the opportunity to meet James O'Barr, coming from the same area that I grew up in, and created a story that was centered around the Detroit area. Just a really, as a fan of not only The Crow, but growing up there, it was a must-have book. So this is Caliber Presents. This is the first appearance of The Crow. And again, a very sad, broken down story that we have here. Not the easiest one to take. The adaption's a little bit different, but still it's near and dear to my heart. And James O'Barr did a sketch on the back there with the crow itself, with the signature, which is just beautiful to me. One of my favorite books in the collection. And when you talk about soundtracks and music,
oh my goodness!
Yes. Is just one of the best.
Absolutely.
Organization of music, and I remember seeing it in the theater and having chills watching Brandon Lee running across the tops of the buildings, and they were playing "Dead Souls" by 9 Inch Nails, which is a cover of the band Joy Division. So it was just that movie did a lot for me. And so
it was one of the first. I remember being in that industrial rock scene. It was one of the first movie soundtracks that I really remember hitting that had quite a bit, because you also had My Life with Thrill Kill Cult was on there, so you had some of these bands represented in there that allowed some of that to really kind of hit more mainstream, which was awesome.
It was awesome, and I have the record hanging up in my house here. It's
nice,
one of my favorites, and a lot of love for The Crow and what James.
I've seen a few people slab that book backwards just because.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a great segue here. I'll remind everybody that you can go to the Comics Curing website, Curing Cancer website, our exclusive The Crow Dead Time Sumerian issue 1 with cover art by Ace Continuato. Limited to 300 copies total, 150 of them donated to Comics Curing Cancer from Big Time Collectibles. If you buy it from our link, the link that's pinned up above there, you'll see the link that can take you there. Buy it, 100% of the purchase cost of that book will go to the American Cancer Society. So check that out. Crow Dead Time Sumerian issue 1. What a segue.
Oh,
perfect.
We see a big book. Yeah.
So you probably can't see what print it is. It's not the first or second or third. This is the 6th printing of this book, and it's actually just as hard to come across out there in the wild. It's not an easy book to find. You see a lot of the second and a lot of the thirds, but the 6th is pretty challenging to find. So I got lucky and I found it at a horror convention, and was stoked to have it. And when I met Eastman, he signed it and did the typical, mark on there as well. I don't know how well we can see that there. If I tilt that like that.
Oh yeah, the turtle.
Yeah, there he is. It's that gold on the black is hard to see.
It does, but it shows up nonetheless.
Yeah. And Eastman's great. I had the opportunity across 2 days to kind of hang out close to him, and I heard a lot and learned a lot from him, and learned that the first Ninja Turtle. Do you guys know who the first Ninja Turtle was?
Donatello.
Try again.
It wasn't Mike. It wasn't Mikey, was it? Because we all know that Mikey. It wasn't Mikey the first and the last. Then
it was. So if you look at the early concept art of the first Ninja Turtles, it's with the nunchucks, and so Kevin Eastman has cited that Michelangelo was the first. So when people are like, "Well, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite?" He always has that piece of, well, they're like my children. I love them all. But again,
yeah, but those of us with multiple children, we all know.
There's
Michelangelo was first and last. Oh yes, it's been a while. It has been a while since we've had this. It's been a while since we've had this on OnlySlabs. All right, before we even begin, and I'm pretty much can guess who you had signed, but can we please just start, Dr. J, with you reading what's on the right side of that yellow label, please?
Yeah, so the significance of this book is this is the first full cover appearance of Hellboy in the red. So before that, he was all in that gray looking tone. So this we see him in the red there. So I haven't had the privilege to meet Mignola in person. This was one of those that I bought off of a vendor. And thanks, JT. The reason I bought it was because it is personalized to Jason. And it actually says, "To Jason, go to hell." Signed
nice.
Mignola. And so when I saw it, I was like, even though I wasn't there in front of him, this book is mine. This book, he made this book for me. He wrote this to me. And
you didn't tell the vendor that, right? You said, well, since this one's been personalized, we're gonna knock some off, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, come on,
man! You missed.
He's got to limit. He's got to wait. I mean, granted, Jason's at least a common name, but still, you got to use that. Say, this is personalized, man. You can't be asking this much for it.
So
then later on, he's not going to ask you what your name is, and if he does, you say it's Ralph.
So at that point, I had tunnel vision, right? Like I just wanted the book, and at that point, I want to make sure the guy to the left of me or the woman to the right of me doesn't get it before I get it, right? Because once I'm holding it in my hands and other people start looking over my shoulder, I get a little worried, and don't want any competition when it comes to that. So
I've been there.
I get
you got
$200. I've bought a book for that sole reason that too many people. I was waffling, but too many people were looking over my shoulder and watching. Kept looking back looking to see if I was going to set it down or not.
That's it. And I don't want that to happen. So you got $200 on it. I'm buying it. Sorry,
Austin LeMay now owns that book, but
yeah. Oh,
okay. All right, so the great Kevin Conroy. I had the opportunity, and this is one of the guys that, I've been working the con circuit for many years and seeing he was there. And again, the Batman animated series after school, not on Saturdays. He was constantly around, and I kept pushing it off. And one of the last times before he passed, I took the opportunity to meet him, and I just had that feeling. And the picture that I have with him speaks to that too. He doesn't look well. He doesn't look 100%, and you just get this vibe. And when I think about Batman, I know people talk about Michael Keaton, Adam West, and those were some of Adam West was my first introduction to the character, and who I consider to be the great Batman above all else. But I throw Kevin Conroy in there as well, because that voice was just incredible. And when I read Batman comics, that's who I heard. I didn't hear Adam West. I didn't hear Michael Keaton.
Vlogs. Somebody will explain it to you, I'm sure.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, no. It was. Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
Was there a mistake?
I don't know. He says, I love Conroy.
You love Conroy. Okay. So misspelled.
So I guess it wasn't a question like, who is he? He's saying, really?
Yeah. Okay.
It was more of what it was. Got it.
Gotcha. So what was important about this Mad Love book? This was the origin of Harley Quinn out of continuity. So it's highly regarded there, Bruce Timm cover.
Indeed. Now you got to get Bruce Timm to sign it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not the easiest one to get. There's usually ways.
Yeah, I have my copies. Bruce Timm and Paul Dini has signed it. And I've gone through a lot of heart palpitations as that book has gone up and down in grades each time I've sent it in for signing. I'm glad I got them both, and it's back up to a 9.6 because now I can be done.
Congrats to you getting it up to a 9.6. Speaking
it
of
started there, but it had gone down to a 9.2 at one point, which was not goal.
Oh, that's not good at all. No. Well, and that's the risk you take when you crack open a book, right? That's we tell people all the time when you crack open this book, you got to sign this form. There's a strong possibility that it will not maintain the grade, and just you have to. We're not liable for that. We're going to treat it like it's our book. We're going to crack it open with the most delicate hands that we can. But more people are touching it again, including artists. So.
Wow. Thank you very much. Jay Knows the Way dropping 5 gifted memberships today. Vogs, Madam Blaster, Nick's Kicks and Comics, Christopher Lockwood, and Cosmic One, all benefiting from the membership. Thank you so much. I didn't realize it. Christopher was he's definitely a subscriber. He may not be necessarily watching right now. Christopher Lockwood just did, of course, the Silver Surfer hollow foil variant of the Comics Curing Cancer art book that has sold out. Appreciate so much for that. Let's get you a little thing real quick, and then we'll get back to it. All right.
The Creech, signed by Greg Capullo, and this was his own artist creation. And I have a Greg Capullo signature on my leg, and it's tattooed. And whenever I see Greg, I remind him that I have his signature tattooed on me. And his first response is always, "Why? Like, what's the matter with you? Are you crazy?" But if it wasn't for his artwork, I would not have taken to the medium of comics. I would not have gotten back into them like I did. It was his work in Spawn. It wasn't the writing of Todd McFarlane. It was the art of Greg Capullo that brought me into comics. That's the covers that I saw. And so he had a profound impact on my ability to want to collect. So I have a lot of respect for Greg Capullo. I know a lot of people love him with his Batman stuff and whatnot, but for me, getting Creech there was pretty important. So how are we on time? We okay here? We're running out of time.
Yeah, we're getting to the end. We don't have a hard stop. But we're getting close to the end.
Okay. So Frank Miller, another iconic guy. I actually asked Frank to sign my skin, and he turned me down. He kind of shook me off, and I'm not sure he understood what I was actually asking him. So I settled with him signing 300. And this movie was just, when it came out, I remember seeing it multiple times in theaters because I was just in awe, not only of the story, but just of seeing visually everything that was going on in there. And Frank Miller's ability to do that, let's not even talk about the impact he had in the comic book realm, but in the movies and design set and appearance. It's incredible what he's done all the way around. So 300 signed by Frank Miller. I thought it was pretty cool, worth showing here. And not a lot of people, I feel, get this one. Yeah, Sin City is another great one. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That black and white where just a couple colors and red and yellow here and there. Again, just a visual masterpiece. And
for me, with 300, the film, like Zack Snyder, that's the one to me that in my world of action movies, it put Zack Snyder on the map to pay attention to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was for a film that was done just on a stage for the entire time. It was incredible. You really thought that you were over there off the coast of the Mediterranean. It really was fantastic. You're right. And 300, the comic book series, a lot of people don't even realize that the movie was based off that comic series, and that it's so close to the original form. Like Zack Snyder and the writers didn't go that far away from what was originally done there. Yeah, great choice and great grade, by the way. 9.8 with with Frank Miller doing his penis autograph, shall we say? Good for you for maintaining
the
that.
pen
9.8.
is mightier than the sword. Yeah.
Yes, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Very cool, very cool. So we're getting into some more modern books here. So I didn't want to leave out.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say let's do 2 more books, and then we'll have to call a show so you can pick which 2 you want to do.
Ooh, okay, all right.
Well, we're always welcome to have you back on at a future appearance.
I love this cover. I mean, this is just super cool seeing the Joker wearing the Superman cape. It is just an awesome shot here. This was signed by Dave Michelini. We actually, during COVID, went to his house and did the signing in his garage, keeping masks on during the whole time. Wow. And
I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
What was the ratio of ASM 300s versus non ASM 300s for a signing by him?
Yeah, so we had collaborated with another facilitator on this who is a huge ASM 300 fan. And so I would say 95% of what was being signed was ASM 300 related. And it wasn't just, it was all these foreign books that were sent in too. You had the negative space one, the white and black one, every single variant that you could think of, people sent in for that. And that was the majority of what people wanted to have him sign.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of special to see David's autograph not only just on 300 or a Marvel title, but have him on a DC Superman book. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that he wrote like a whole lot of other stories other than the introduction of Venom.
Absolutely. And the Joker is one of my favorite villains. So I thought I'd take a good opportunity to do it. And again, the crossover with Superman, Batman is so loved and whatnot. And it's like, I like to have some love for Superman as well. So that's where that came from. Nothing too special about this book other than the Joker appears in story. So that one. So boy, I got like 15 other books here. What do you guys want to see? You guys want to see
whatever you want to show for your final book, that's great. Then like I said, we're happy to book you for a future appearance. Come on back and share some more.
Okay, so maybe I should end with my favorite character. As you know, again, AF-15 is what this room is all about. And so this is the variant. This was the Steve Ditko cover that never made the newsstands. I know that they talked about how Stan Lee did not like this concept that he had there and went with Jack Kirby instead. This also has the Stan Lee label. And this is the death of Spider-Man. And so that is what gives this book, the guts, the inside. It's not just the cover, but the death of the beloved Peter Parker in there. So signed by Stan as well. And again, you can kind of see he doesn't sign it in the same place that he does the AF-15. He did it down there. And or AF-15 goodness, yeah. So this one's near and dear to me as well. I bought it off the rack, and I remember buying. I think it was around 300 is what the comic book seller wanted at the time, and again, it was a no-brainer for me. I had to have the book, and that's what I ended up with. So got it slabbed and signed, Stanley with the label. So
Awesome.
yes, sir.
Well, that's phenomenal. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that we're having to run out of time here, but 20 to 24 books, fill some time. And yeah, I know I could show more books here if we weren't doing super chats, guys, but the super chats we're raising money for Comics Curing Cancer. So get mad at cancer, donate a crap load of money. We'll cure cancer. Then we can stop doing that. We'll just show more books. That's the solution. Links pinned up above. Go ahead, hit it. Go donate cancer today, against cancer today, like that. All right. Let's go ahead and throw up the hashtag here. Hashtag Spider-Man. That's our thing there for this second giveaway. Everybody go ahead and hit that. Make sure you hit that hyphen between spider and man. We have to spell it correctly for it to work. Yeah, you're just being evil. I know. Came in late. Well, you came in just in time to catch the rewind. Absolutely. I'll be posting that link there momentarily. Well, it'll go up right away, but as far as the skip to time, I'm rambling now at this point. Spider-Man, you guys are entering that. Let's make sure that we got to recognize the Goon Squad members, ladies and gentlemen, supporting the channel all the time. Dale Suspense, DJ Links, Dr. Von Hoot, it's Comics from the Spiral Dimension, Legion of Comics, Stephen C., Justin Birch Letters, The Comic Vet, Austin LeMay, Mad Spidey, Collecting with Thurs, Chuck Hensey, Lone Eagle, Comberverse, Deadman, Anachronic Comics, Colossus Collector, Timo Hana, still only 35 cents, Cliff on Comics, Bearded Comic Bro, Never Could Figure It Out, Daymares, The Adventurous Joe, Valen Rook, Jay Knows the Way, Ronnie Johnson, Comics on the Edge, Omnivo, 1063 Comics, Silver Eagles, Sal's Comics Corner, and the Kingdom of Nerds. Thank you guys all so much for being Goon Squad members at that $4.99 a month level, helping to support Comics Curing Cancer. Speaking of Comics Curing Cancer, the David Sanchez art book still available. That same link pinned up above you can scroll down slightly. You'll be able to see the link to pick up the art book there, filled with a bunch of great artists contributing pieces here to help us raise money for the American Cancer Society. Of course, remember the auction that's going on there for the next 2 weeks. You can click that, go to the items, and of course, there's a link there to get the merch shop where you can pick up various merch going on. Next week, Chris and I will be back with another episode of OnlySlabs as we get Zombie Joe Comics is going to join us, a fellow Black Sheep member. Zombie Joe Comics to come check out the show again next week. As we do, my lighting just turned off over my head, which is annoying as heck. Let's see, for myself over on my YouTube channel, like I said, we just dropped Only My Slabs this week's episode. We kicked off the ASM box. So check out that. We got some great early ASM books. As many of you guys know, I worked on collecting the first 100 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, all slabbed. And then also this coming Monday is the second half of my Heroes Con a little bit of a walk around, not a big one. It's very short, 5 minutes long. And then, of course, the big haul, you can see what Grail I picked up, everything else, and as some of the other books, I haven't been posting those yet, purposely, just like that. Papa says, what? No Thundercats #1 signed? What's wrong with you? Well,
I have it raw. It's in the long boxes. So
he's just waiting for Lion-O to come do an appearance to get signed. But Papa, thank you so much for the super chat. This one is for you.
Bet she gives great helmet.
Kiss me. No. Lord Helmet, what? You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time.
All right, I see 63 out of 69, so that puts us pretty darn close to a full house in the chat. I'm going to give you 5. I'm going to give you 4. Going to give you 3. Going to give you 2. Give you 1. All right, let's rock and roll. Round and around, and where she goes, where she stops, well, the internet knows. And our winner here of the second pool is, boom, Tate Prime. Congratulations, Tate. All right, let me grab this box here. Chris, You're pulling the books this time for Tate. What are we doing?
All right,
Number
let's
3 from
go.
the front
Don't make fun of the number 3. 3 from the
and
front
number 3 from the back.
and 3 from the back.
It's like I should almost start like stacking the number 3s. Like
Look, I don't talk about my mom very often. But
hey, you know what?
my
They
mom's
change.
birthday number.
The thing is, when you pull number 3,
Yeah,
then another book becomes number 3. So it's all
I
right.
get it. So I don't know why
Yeah.
we're
You're just predictable. That's all.
Yeah. All right. Stop. And those 2 books, your finger splits. Now 9 from the front.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. See, yeah. We're gonna do this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. How do you like them apples, Mad Spidey? And also 9 from the back.
Just remember, you're doing this to yourself.
Oh, just say, hey. My mom's birthday is September 3rd, so we're doing 9 and 3. Oh, now I get why you're like. Okay. Yeah.
Oh God.
All right. Well, Tape Prime deserves it. But whatever we get, Tape Prime is strong supporter of YouTube.
All right. Well, congratulations, Tate Prime,
of our channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's just go. What you've got here first. I don't even know where to begin with this. Every single one of them is good shit. See, Batman Adventures #1, the premiere issue.
Nice.
Very nice.
Battlestar Galactica, issue #1. The first of 3 issues in comic book size. Originally, it was appeared in Marvel Super Special #8. The Invincible Iron Man, issue #80. First, or it's the origin of Black Llama.
What's going on with his arms there?
Well, it's Kirby.
Yeah. Shout out to Nick that's just joined in.
I mean, that's the other thing. It's a Kirby Milgram cover. I mean, that's that the Milgram you may not have picked up on right away, but I mean, you knew it was a Kirby cover.
Yeah.
But it's a sub 100 Iron Man. What do you like? How about X-Men 191, first appearance? It says first Nimrod.
Yep. Very important book.
I'm not even sure which one to show first or last of these. They're both going to hurt Chris. So let's just go with the wedding of Peter Parker and MJ in the Amazing Spider-Man special wedding issue there. That's King Giant size annual.
Did it have to be a newsstand?
Yeah, of course. And then from the Silver Age, we got Justice League issue 19.
Holy cow!
How cool. Those are good
Congratulations there, Tate. Some good books for sure. This one, the only non-key actually in the whole lot. But, you got a 12-cent Justice League there, sub 20 Justice League of America. Congratulations. Make sure I'm pretty sure I have your ship to information, but hit me up anyways, Tate. I appreciate that. Yeah. There, that's what we do. That's the way we play with this box. We love I spend some time looking for good shit to stack this box, and it's my way of appreciating you guys for all that you do to help us and the comics curing cancer. So appreciate you guys. He should legally change his name from Fat Stacks to Giveaways Major Keys. Guys, that's going to do it for us for this week here on OnlySlabs. Thank you very much to Dr. J for coming out and joining us. Chris, as always, I appreciate you, brother, and everyone in the audience. Guys, thank you for getting Comics Curing Cancer over $10,000 thus far. Of course, we still got the heavy lifting to do in October. Pretty soon, you'll start to see the campaign to start looking for books to send in for the donations for us for our big auction kicking off that third weekend in October. Until next time, make sure you collect what you want. Don't listen to anybody, especially me. I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.